So I'm here at a new purchase that we've just done. We're nearly finished it, so I'm going to do a live snagging. So I'm going to do a little series of live reviews of the property. I'll give credit to Jamie York. I've stole his name. My first videos I ever done was all top property tours, but I love the name that Jamie done, so credit where credit's due, and I'm stealing his name. And we're going to call these property reviews. So we've bought this property. What we're going to do with it? We're going to flip it. We're going to rent it out. Or we're going to package this on and resell it. So let's go in, have a little look around, and see what we're going to do with it. So this is obviously the living room of the property. Basic new flooring down, feature wall. Don't always do feature walls. We usually whitewash all our properties. One, it's easier to paint because there's no cutting in, and two, it's just a blank canvas. It looks really tidy, and not everybody will like blue. Not everybody will like certain colours. You do a feature wall, but this already had a heavy feature wall on there, so we decided to go over it with another feature wall. But it was like an orangey colour and magnolia. Magnolia is very out at the moment, and the orangey colour. So we went over it with a bit more of a trending colour, and with the white, so it's easier going over that. But we put new flooring down, new wall, and just a fresh little paint throughout. So this is the kitchen. Obviously, kitchen's the main features of the property, but this is an existing kitchen, so we kept this kitchen. What we ended up doing was it needed a new cooker hood. They didn't have no end panels, so the end panels were like a yellowy colour, and this didn't have this here because the previous people had dishwasher, washing machine and dryer there, but it looks like a really odd, awkward space. So we put this in, but we couldn't find a door to match. Not quite finished it yet, but we're going to be wine racking in there just to finish it off, and it makes it look much better. So we just painted this grey. This cladding was already here. There was cladding above this. So what we had to do is put a splashback there because it's plastic and the heat will heat that out. And we've got a range cooker. We've got another property that we've bought with a range cooker in, and we're about to complete on it next week, hopefully, so we can get that range cooker in, because this will be finished on Tuesday. But if we don't, we're gonna have to put a range cooker in there. But literally it was just a bit of a tidy up in there. It was a really nice kitchen, serviceable kitchen. So we kept this kitchen and just tidied it up. Kitchens and bathrooms are the main two features that really sell, rent, or a property. So this particular bathroom had this in there already, but so all we've done is we upgraded the taps, put a nice waterfall tap they're called. We upgraded the bath. It had a normal bath in there, and the cladding behind it wasn't very nice. We've got a nice shower bar in there, a nice rainfall shower, the waterfall tap, the glass screen, and the L-shaped bath. We always put cladding up in our properties. This is cladding, not tiles. We put them up for two reasons. Number one, is it quicker to install. You can generally go over the top of the old tiles, so you don't have to rip them out sometimes. It's quicker to install. Number two, maintenance of it is so much better. Like when you've not got grout, this is easier to keep maintained. So when tenants move out, you wipe over it. You don't have to re-grout or get the stains out of the grout, clean the grout. So it's much more easier, but really come out really well, this bathroom, and it was just a change of a bath really, and the tap. So it was a nice little easy job in here. Well, not easy, but it was a nice quicker turnaround than it would have been changing the full bathroom. So here in one of the bedrooms, typical, as I said earlier on, we just whitewashed all these. So this is whitewashed. These carpets are already in there. So we whitewashed grey carpets. That is the trending colours at the moment. And this already had grey carpets in the bedrooms, which we managed to clean and keep. So it was only the hallways and the small bedroom that we done this with. So it's just straightforward, whitewashed walls, grey carpets, cleaned, and this looks fresh. And and ready to go. So now I'm gonna share with you what are we gonna do with this. If you're enjoying this video, you want more of them, stick in the comments below. Please give us a thumbs up, give it a share, just to help them algorithms boost it out a little bit more. But now we're gonna share with you the numbers and what we've done with this, whether we package this, whether we bought it to keep and rent, or whether we're gonna flip this property. We purchased this property as a repossession, but the offer got accepted on this November. At time of recording this video, we're now just coming to August, and the offer got accepted in November. So this refurb took 3 weeks, and it took months and months to go through, and there was a couple of little issues along the way. So I'm going to tell you some pros and cons after this also. I'll share these numbers, but there's a couple of issues along the way which we found out it was a prefabrication property, which we didn't realise it was. We thought it was a normal standard build, which with a bigger roof, tiled roof over it, and it turned out to be non-standard construction. So we was originally buying this for cash. The offer we got accepted on it for cash was £86,000. We got a Rick's surveyor to come out to value this in the condition it was in. It wasn't in a terrible condition. They said we got to keep the kitchen, we kept part of the bathroom. So it was just mainly flooring down throughout the property, recarpeting most of the property, although we recycled two of the carpets, new bath, new shower, went a bit higher end on the shower and everything. And the kitchen, as I said, was just to tidy up and a few bits in there, new flooring down, splashback hood. So we paid £86,000, and it came in at around £7,000, the refurbishment on this. We got a Rick's surveyor to come out when we was buying it for cash to value it in the condition we was buying it in, and then to say what the end value would be once it was tidied up. There was a little bit of DIY wiring around, and there was a little bit to do with electrics as well, and the plumbing. We had to put a gas main in because they used to have just an electric cooker here, so we wanted the option for both electric and gas. So he revalued it as a Rick's surveyor 120 to 125 depending on the condition. So pretty comfortable with that, but the market's gone bonkers since. There's a property just down the road, a few doors up, that has gone for 130. So the market's moved on round here. They are a bit more difficult to sell because not everybody can get a mortgage on a non-standard construction. So you do the figures. What we've got this for. You look 7k refurb, £86,000, probably worth about. This is that one's an end terrace. But this one's got an extension on, so a lot more square footage on this one than that one's got. So I'd say this is easily worth the same as that. This one's got extension and a little porchway. So I feel this is a 130 house because one's the sold for 130, and the Rick surveyor said 120 to 125. It looks fantastic in here. So what did we do with this property? Did we keep it? Did we flip it? Are we going to flip it? Or did we package it? So this one got packaged on to one of our investors. So we done an end-to-end package on this. So we charged a fixed fee to get this from front to end, so that it was a hands-free portfolio building service on this one. So why did we package it? Because you just can't buy them all, you know, like your funds, when you get into property, no matter how big of a pot you start with, and no matter how good your buy refurbish remortgage strategy is, your pot diminishes. I've got 3 deals in legals for myself at this moment, at this time, so I can't buy everything. So the idea behind packaging some properties in my areas, one, I've got a lettings company, so we keep the lettings off of that, and number 2 is I get a lump sum fee which goes towards my purchases as well. So, and it keeps my builders busy, keeps me busy, keeps my finger in the game, and my thumbs on the pulse of what's going on in the property world. So we're always active buying property. So when we package these, we don't package them straight on, we do portfolio building service, but when we do package them, we actually we do the whole end-to-end package. Exactly the same work goes into doing this for one of my investors hands-free as it does if I actually bought it for myself. So what would you have done with it? Let me know in the comments what you would have done with it. As I said, if I had the money, I'd have bought it myself. Of course, there's a lot of margin in this one, and it's a really fantastic buy. Now let's talk about some pros and cons of this property, and let's also talk about so we said we packaged this on, but we packaged this on and kept it as a rental. So we've rented it for £710,000. When we purchased this in November, the rental market's also been on fire, increasing in my remote location in Stockton-On-Tees. So when we purchased this, basically we estimated the rent will be about 625 to 675 is where I think the rent would be, probably 650-ish, but we'll test it at 675. The market's gone bonkers and gone up in the rent in the meantime. So under renovation, little tip, when your properties are under renovation, test the market if you can push that ceiling point, especially if you're doing it nice. This property's done nice, it's got a really nice bathroom in there, kitchen was already nice, but it's upgraded. We've got the hood up and we've got the what's name, we've got a range cooker to go in as well. So yeah, and again, at the start when I said we've got another property we're buying, we're hoping we complete on that property beforehand so we can get that range cooker out there and over to here, but if not, we're just gonna have to buy one. I think we found one for £500, something like that, so we're gonna have to buy one. But as I was saying, the rental market has gone up, so we actually got 710 for it. I said, let's try it out. So the little tip is, when you're under renovation, put it on a little bit higher. If you've done it into good condition, see if you can push that ceiling point. We put it up for 725, we end up accepting 710 for it. So we've got £60 a month, where more than the price we thought we would get, and £85 a month more than the minimum amount we run our figures on in the first place, you know? So we got a bit, in the end, my investor was gonna buy this cash, but when he found out it was non-standard construction, he got a mortgage on it instead. So that made it longer, the purchase. Solicitors were slow. This just went through legals forever. And also the change in finding out when we got the survey back, it's non-standard construction. The investor wasn't sure about it. The reason I told the investor, I advised the investor still to go with this, was because the margin in it was so large. So there's so much equity in this. And when you look at the rental return on your capital employed, it's still very, very strong. So it still makes a fantastic deal, even though it's non-standard construction, and even though you're paying a slightly bit higher on your interest rate because there's not so many lenders in the market. So it really, really still worked out as a strong return on his capital. And it's in a really desirable location for rentals. So there is 3 major schools around here, really nice school. This is not one you'd rent to benefits. Benefit caps out at £500, so this is definitely working professional tenants. So let's go through some pros and cons of this now. So some pros of this property is in a fantastic location, does experience capital growth. We've got a bit from the start of the year. It's gone up about 5K, it's gone up to about 5 to 10K from the start of the year. It's in a location with really desirable working tenants, professional tenants, with lots of desirable schools, good for resale locations. But the cons are, the resale on this is going to be a bit more difficult because of the non-standard construction. If you look at the parking at the front, there's no allocated parking, although one of the pros again for it is it's got a nice field at the front. But that said, it's got a nice field at the front, but there's no allocated parking. But because there's no through traffic through here, another pro, there is generally not too many parking spaces taken up. You can get parking here at most times of the day, so, but no real allocated parking. A con of this also is because they're professional tenants at £710, they're on decent wage. They've got a home buying mindset. So the avatar of this sort of tenant is they want to be a home owner. And because of these properties are 130, saving up a 10% deposit when you've only got a rent of £700 a month is quite easy to do. So usually within 18 months or 2 years, you get turnover in these style properties. So that's usually a bit of a con where our typical property we buy for around 70K, you've got a lower income person or someone on benefits who's got a guarantor, we always get benefits, or working people with a guarantor. But them sorts of properties, then the mindset of that person is not a home owner, so they usually stay maybe for 7 to 10 years, you know, so you've not got so much turnaround. But there's pros and cons both ways. You might get a slightly, where you've got professional tenant, not always, but you might get them that looks after the property a little bit more. So you just got to weigh up these pros and cons, but it's nice to have a diverse portfolio. So I've got a load of them mid-range ones. I've got a few cheapy ones at the start when I was getting started, which I wouldn't buy really any more of those again unless they come up ridiculously cheap, because you don't want loads of these in really large demographic areas. I've got most of them in the middle band, like around that 70 mark, and I've got a few of these higher ones around the 100 to 100 sort of and 50 mark, because it's the diversified portfolio. Generally the yield squeezes out on these, but we've got this at such a good price. The yield is still there, really strong, even with the higher sort of interest rate on that mortgage. So really hope you enjoyed this. I'll be doing more of these review videos of the properties we're going on. I'll probably see if I can recycle some of the old ones from my YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share that. Check out this other video that YouTube is suggesting for you to watch. And remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you're never going to live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live on your own terms. Have a great day, everyone.